What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Before today's video starts, please go over to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/MDESS, and click that follow button. The channel's growing and I stream almost every night at around 8 p.m. Pacific time. I usually play Modern Warfare, but there's other games that we can play too. But please do go follow it, and I'll see you guys in the next video, and I hope you enjoyed today's. What's going on, guys? It's Tyler back. So for today's video, I have a long overdue video for you guys. I was going to originally drop this when Season 4 came out, but since we don't know when Season 4 is coming out, I decided that I would just drop it now. So for today's video, I have 4 key steps on how to get better at Modern Warfare. Let me just pull up my list, that way I make sure I hit them all right. So this video is designed for people who want to increase their KD, learn how to play better, or overall just drop more nukes, or just whatever you're looking for. I just hope you can pull something away from this video. So there's going to be 4 key topics that we talk about. It's going to be picking the right gun and settings, map awareness, when to push and not to push. Those two kind of tie together, but they're going to be their own thing for this, and how to stay calm under pressure. I myself have a hard time staying calm when there's a lot of people around me and I'm not sure what to do if I'm running out of ammo, but I've learned over time how to control it more, and it's something that I am still working on. So I thought I would share some tips on how I improved it. So we're just going to jump right in. This is going to be kind of a long video, so I'll have timestamps on what point comes up when. That way if you guys are just looking for a specific thing, you can jump to it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is picking the right gun and settings. So for picking the right gun, you really want to play with guns that actually work for your type of playstyle. Myself, I'm an aggressive player. I like using SMGs. I like using ARs if I can be pushy with them. I don't really like sitting back. It's just not my playstyle. Being aggressive is where I'm at. So the most comfortable gun I use is the GRAW. As you can see, I have almost 26,000 kills with it. Getting a gun that you're most comfortable with allows you to adjust for a game. If you're playing bad and you just want to do well, you can rely on a gun you're comfortable with. That doesn't mean to stick with one gun and completely use it. That's what I do. Everyone calls me a one-gun wonder. It gets annoying, so I've branched out and used different guns. I use the MP5, I use the MP7, I use the Kilo, I use the M4, I use the GRAW. I use all the broken guns in the game. Now, that's not me saying you have to use those guns. You can use whatever guns you want. But in order for you to get better with the gun, you need to understand that at first, learning the recoil patterns, learning the way the gun handles at long range versus short range, the time to kill at short range and long range, it's all going to vary, and it's something that you have to learn. So when you die a lot while using a new gun, don't get discouraged. If you want to use that gun, then just keep practicing with it. Go shoot bots, play some long range maps against bots. Overall, just increase your ability to understand how to use the weapon. Now, you can switch guns every game, you can do what you want to do, but just make sure that you put enough time into each weapon so that way you're comfortable with it. That way, when you do switch to a different gun every game, you know how to use it and you're not putting something in your hands that makes you scared and you're not sure what the time to kill is, or you're not sure exactly what it's supposed to do. So that's for the gun part. Just make sure that you are comfortable with what you're using and you get used to it. That way you can understand the patterns of how the gun works. So for the second one that I want to talk about, that's part of part 1.1, is actually your settings. So I'm a controller player. If you're a PC player, this will vary for you. I'm talking on the controller aspect. Playing on settings is something that changes in every Call of Duty. In Black Ops 1, I played on 1212 sensitivity, 1111, whatever the max was back then. In BO4 and BO3, I played on 7.7. BO4, I played with a .75 ADS speed. It just varies depending on the game. It's what you get comfortable with. It's what is too fast and too slow. It's right in that center point. So for this game, I play on 1313 with 1:1 high zoom, low zoom. Now, for you, don't copy these settings. Find something that is going to work for you. I want you to be able to feel comfortable with your controller and feel comfortable with your turning speed and your movement speed, that when you shoot somebody, your shots aren't going to be shaky and your sensitivity screwing you over. That's the one thing that I've learned from playing on higher sensitivities than I'm used to versus low sensitivities, is the fact that when I'm in gunfights, I might be able to run around the map and feel completely fine, but in certain gunfights, my sensitivity can be the difference between if I live or if I die, if I get a nuke or if I die on a 29, if I drop streaks or if I die off streak. So, the best thing to do is to go into a custom game and just practice the sensitivity that feels best for you, best for moving around the map and also best for gunfights. Like I said, you don't want your shots to be shaky. So, that's the main thing as far as gun aspects and settings. Just make sure you're comfortable with the gun that you're using. Make sure you understand the recoil patterns, the way it moves, time to kill. And then for settings, do something that you're comfortable with to where it's not going to stress you out and you can't win your gunfights because you want to be able to turn a corner fast and see if people are there. There's no point in turning a corner fast if when you go to shoot them, your shots are shaky and going a million miles the other way. So that's it for part 1. Point 1. So now we're going to transition into the second part, which is map awareness, and I'm actually going to pull up some videos from myself, and I've asked if I can use his content, and he said yes I can, from Trey and Jay, the brothers who are just absolutely amazing at this game. Trey has a 5.4 KD, I think. Might be a little lower, might be a little higher. All I know is it's in the 5s, and I think Jay has the 5.4, and Trey has the, I think, around a 3 or a 4, one of the two. But we're going to transition into that. I'm going to pull up some videos, show you guys exactly what map awareness is and how to get better at it. Alright guys, so this is the second part. It's going to be learning about map awareness. Now map awareness is a concept where when you go around the map, you're anticipating that people are going to be spawning in a certain spot. You're going to be anticipating that people are in a certain spot, whether it be in a corner, whether it be upstairs when you're going upstairs, or whether or not you can differentiate the places in which enemies are going to be, and making sure that when you run out somewhere that you know exactly where people are going to be and you're prepared for them. So what we're going to do first is, this is a small clip from my MP7 video, but as you guys will see right here, when I turn this corner, I slide and turn around, and then I slide and turn again. Now the reason I did that was because the back alleyway, which is right here, that's their E spawn. They only have E and D, so the enemies are going to either be spawning at E or at D. So the reason why I'm checking this is because people can run from the E spawn and come around to this area right here. And if I just run straight to D, which I was doing in this play, I can get shot in the back. But if I slide in the corner, as you see, there's a wall behind me. So I know I'm covered from getting shot at D, but I want to make sure that I'm not getting shot in the back while I'm pushing E. And then once I see it's clear, I check one more time just because it allows me to check playground. But I did it fast enough to where I can turn back around because now I'm in clear visibility over here from enemies at D and over here from enemies at D. So being able to control your awareness so that way you can understand where people are and making sure you're not going to get shot in the back is incredibly overpowered. And being able to prepare yourself for a gunfight is the best way that you want to do it, honestly. So anyone that's walking around the corners that I just showed you, they might anticipate that I'm there, but if I'm sliding and turn the corner, I have a better chance at getting first shot than they do because I am anticipating and I'm turning and I have the back coverage from not getting shot at D, so it's a solid gunfight. Now if somebody's just ADSing right there and I accidentally slide right into their line of sight, I'm going to die either way, but just making sure that you have the awareness to prepare yourself for it is perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at Trey and Jay's gameplay. This is the game where Jay dropped a double nuke, so he's going off in this gameplay, but the main thing I want to show you guys is this map awareness. Notice that the enemies have A, B, D, and E, which, as far as map awareness and map control, the only place that your teammates can spawn is C. So everywhere around the map is where your is where the enemies are going to spawn. So looking at it like this, when Trey goes down, He slides, notices that someone's there, and prepares for the gunfight. He slide cancels into his pre-fire. And notice that he jumps and aims because the person that he just saw right there that went on the box could have saw his bullets and is ready for him. So when he walks around the corner and is aiming, it allows him to be ready for the gunfight just in case for some reason that he has to do it right when he starts. So once he runs back through playground, as you can see, he slide cancels again. This is why he has a 5.4 KD or above. So the advance is up. Now when it advances up, a lot of people get confident because they know where the enemy's position is. They know exactly what to do, where they're going to go, what way they're aiming. So that works out perfectly. Now the one thing I would recommend is just don't get too confident when an advance is up. I've had multiple people push me while they have an advance up and they still die. Because the enemies, when an advance is up, they have to play a lot more preservative. Because they know that they're going to get pushed. They know that if they're looking the wrong way, they're going to get shot in the back. So a lot of people, when advances are up, more skilled players, will play more preservative. Now, Jay is playing against people that clearly aren't in his skill level. We'll put it that way. But as you can see, on his minimap, there's 3 people inside this house. There's no one on the outside, which is behind him. There's no one behind him at the E flag. And there's no one coming from the right side. So he has a clear shot at killing this guy that's coming out the window. And then he can maneuver into the house if he wants. Or he can go into this corner over here. And we'll see how it plays out. So he kills this guy and then he runs backwards. Now, the reason why I did that is because, as you saw in the advance, the guy was getting ready to run out the door. Now Jay didn't have to worry about getting shot in the back because he has the advance up. So he sees that he's going to walk out, and as you can see right there, he's prepared for the gunfight. Now he runs upstairs, and notice right here, this is the best form of map awareness, is anticipating that there's going to be claymores, bouncing betties, or something that can kill you, or something that can throw you off and do damage to you to where the enemy only has to put a couple bullets into you rather than a full clip. He jumps over the edge. Now, at the top of the stairs, there could have been a bouncing Betty, there could have been a claymore, and obviously he would have noticed it and it would have gone off. But just being prepared for something like that, and also getting the jump on your opponent, is one of the best things that you can do. So, being able to be ready, he knows that the enemy is in the corner over here, so being able to get ready and prepare for that gunfight, he already has the advantage. So, as you can see, enemy's looking away, and then immediately he turns around. He doesn't know if this person's going to go through the door and come up the stairs, or if the advance is going to have him go out into the line of sight. But Trey and Jay are preparing themselves, specifically Jay, for specific movements to where they put themselves in a good spot. So he notices that he's coming out there, and he peeks the corner. But because the enemy was right in the corner, he doesn't want to peek it fully because there's a chance he might die, just because the enemy is clearly aiming down sights ready for someone to walk around the corner, which is what we talked about when we viewed my slide shot on people coming around the corner. So that's the small tip on map awareness. Making sure that you can anticipate where enemies are going to be, being prepared for gunfights, making sure that you have the jump and being able to win your gunfights. It's just, it works out perfectly. Learning the maps, learning exactly where spawns are, learning how people can play certain maps. If you go into a building and you know that there's 4 rooms, you know that people can hide behind desks in rooms, you want to be prepared for all of that. No matter what you do, always walk into a room anticipating that there's going to be someone in there. Even if it doesn't show anyone on the advance, even if it doesn't show anyone on the UAV, even if the flag is being capped by a teammate, always walk in and be prepared for a gunfight, because you don't know if an enemy can run right onto that flag right as you get there, and you don't want to be caught standing still. You don't want to be in a spot to where teammates are rushing and an enemy rushes and kills you in the back. It's not fun at all. So always make sure that you're anticipating that someone's in there, even if you know for a fact that there's no one in there. There can be tag inserts and someone can spawn. Tag inserts are easy to hear, but at the same time, they can be annoying to deal with, and teammates don't always destroy them. So that's the end of point 2, map awareness. Now we're going to look at when to push and when not to push. Okay guys, so this third point that I want to talk about is when to push and when not to push. This sort of ties into the map awareness and being able to anticipate where enemies are. If you're going into an area where there's a ton of enemies, you want to be careful on what you push, because you could get shot in the back, you could get shot in the side. when you're focused on killing one person, there could be 3 other people around them that are looking at you from certain angles. So really quick, what I want to show you is an anticipation on where I didn't push someone or I played it safe. So the context behind this small clip right here is one of my teammates, specifically Mario and I play the same, so we know how to maneuver the map so that way we're in the best positions. But as you'll see right here, I turn the corner and this guy's looking away from me. I heard his footsteps and I heard him running towards the front door, which allows me to not only shoot him in the back, as bad as it is, but I also notice a tac insert right there. So after I kill him, I anticipate that either that's somebody's tac insert or that's the guy that I just killed. So what we're doing here is we're getting ready to prepare ourselves to kill this guy again. If it's someone that we just killed, then he knows that we're in the house. If it's some random person that just placed it there, then I don't need to worry as much as him knowing I'm here. But turns out that it was the person that I just killed. Now, the reason why I prone right here and wait is because I know that Mario is watching my back, and by the way that he's looking, he is looking towards the E flag, so he sees everyone in this line of sight. So anyone that wants to come to me has to come through this doorway, which is what I'm looking for, or coming through the front door. Now this is the gameplay where I dropped the nuke and I ran out of ammo multiple times, but the key concept on this is I didn't push out to try to kill people or worry about getting shot in the back because Mario had my back. Now if he died, then I would worry and I would anticipate that people were going to push me from all sorts of the room. But right after I get this kill, you'll see Mario is no longer looking at that side over there, which is where these enemies are. He's looking more directed towards the building. So I know that if he's going to get shot in the back, I need to watch his back and make sure that people aren't flanking him. So that's why I pushed to this wall. So as you can see right here, I hug the wall, that way I don't get shot from the window from people in the building that he's looking at or that he's no longer looking at. I don't get shot from the roof. I'm hugging the wall so that way I have a clear line of sight, so that way I can kill the people. And then I start strafing while I'm peeking the window and killing some people. Now, as I peek the other window, I hug the corner again, and I notice this guy in here. Now, he could have shot me clearly if I did peek the window while I was shooting at the people behind Mario, but the way I hugged the wall is perfect. So these are the kind of kills where you don't push because you want to play it safe. You want to play it so that way you can get some kills, so that way you are in a spot where you're comfortable, you're not stressing yourself out. Now, as far as a spot and when not to push, we're going to go to my rage video where I ended up choking the nuke. So, context behind this, I was on a 28 and I ended up dying, and the only reason why I pushed was because there was a DEFCON. But I'll admit it, I did not play this smart, I played it dumb. I was so focused on getting the nuke, I didn't realize that at 16 seconds left, they were about to cap D. So, I shouldn't have pushed this like I did. Yes, I'm hugging the car and people can't see me, but everyone who is capping C or D right now is a couple people. Everyone else is spawning at their home flag at A. So me pushing out right here, all of this, even behind my webcam, all of this area has places in which I can get killed from. So looking at this, me standing out in the open when there's a million snipers on this map, I mean, you can even see it. It's kind of hard to see right now, but all of this red over here is all enemies. Now, if you see me, the minute I saw that light, I should have stepped back. So you'll see right here. See if I can get it. Let me put it in slow-mo just for a second. That way you guys can fully see what I'm talking about. So, it's too slow. No, it's not. We're good. So right when I aim in, I'm looking at the people back here. I don't notice that there's a person right here until I start to get sniped at. So, right there, you can see on the floor, he's laying down with a sniper. I don't see him, and I was so dumb to push this. So knowing when to push and when not to push is the difference between you dropping a nuke and you not dropping a nuke. Now, playing it safe, never a bad thing. If you want to rotate somewhere, make sure that you check all the corners like I said with map awareness. What map awareness needs to be perfect in order for you to rotate smoothly and not have to worry about getting killed. So that's just a small snippet as far as when to push and not to push. Make sure you always push when you know that an area is clear, or you know that there's only a few enemies but you know their location. Like when an advance is up, don't get too confident, but use that to your advantage, because if you can maneuver and you know where people are, you can get the drop on them, you can come behind them, and also it allows for you to push more confidently. So that's the small snip as far as where to push and not to push. So for the last thing that I want to talk about is staying calm under pressure, which is going to revolve around making sure that you play with your teammates, making sure you play with yourself and not against yourself, making sure that you're staying relaxed and not stressed, because once you start to stress, it's going to screw you over. So I'll skip to part 4 right now, and then yeah, we'll finish talking about it. Alright guys, so for the 4th and final tip that I have for getting better at Modern Warfare is to just relax while you're playing. You can be sweaty, you can be casual, but one thing that I've learned to just focus on is just make sure that you're not overstressing yourself or making the game not fun for you. So the number one thing that I want to talk about here is making sure that while you play, you're relaxed. So you can be sweaty, again, like I said, or you can be a casual, but if you are dying to dumb stuff, or if you're dying to things that you think shouldn't have happened, like someone peeks a corner and kills you, or you shoot at them a million times and they kill you with one shot, it's going to be stressful, it's going to be annoying, it's going to be the most frustrating thing in the world. But the number one thing that you have to do is learn from that and improve yourself. When you first start playing this game, or if you've been playing for a while and you want to raise your KD, or you want to have high kill games, it takes time, it takes a lot of practice, and the only thing that you can do really is just keep practicing. Once you get comfortable with a gun and learn how it works, then you can focus on the map awareness. Once you focus on map awareness, then you can learn on things on when to push and not to push. Everything I said all ties together into this. It's a step process. You have to focus on one thing, getting better at one thing, focus on winning your gunfights, and then once you're comfortable winning your gunfights, then you can push into areas that have more people. Once you are comfortable with pushing into areas that have more people, then you can focus on things that you can push and not push. Like I said, those two things tie together. So just make sure that while you're playing, don't overdo yourself. If you get stressed out while you're playing, it's just going to help you have a bad time, and it's not enjoyable. I do that myself so much. I am used to slaying out, I'm used to getting high kill games, and if I don't have a high kill game or I have a lot of death, I feel like I didn't do what I was supposed to do. And those games are going to happen whether you like it or not. There is always going to be someone that is better than you, and whether you run into a bot lobby or you run into a lobby where someone is better than you, it's always going to happen. Like I said, I don't believe in reverse boosting. I think that the way you get better is by playing people who are better than you and learning how they play and adapting to what you think you should do. But everybody has their own ways. So the number one tip that I want you to take away from this is just make sure that you practice. Play against bots for 40 minutes before you hop on. Get your aim ready. Get comfortable with your controller. Do what you gotta do. I personally, sometimes I play against bots, sometimes I hop right in, and I found myself playing better when I actually play against bots in the beginning of a game. Now, do you have to do that? No, but just realize that doing all the practice that you can will make a difference. Being able to go into a spot and feel comfortable and not stressing yourself out is all the difference. When I go into gunfights, because I feel confident in my gun skill, I feel confident in knowing what I'm doing, I feel confident in the gun I'm using. I don't want to run into a gunfight hoping that I win, thinking that, okay, I'm using a gun I'm not familiar with, I don't know if I'm going to win. You want to be able to be confident. The only way that that confidence comes with playing is by multiple hours of practice. I've been playing COD for the past 11 years. And I still have a lot to learn, and every time a new Call of Duty drops, it's always a new practice, it's always something that you need to familiarize yourself with. So make sure that when you die to dumb stuff or something happens, you always learn from it. Don't look at it as, oh they did something better, or oh they did this. Look at it as you did something wrong and you need to adjust for it. Now if you die to a C4 getting thrown at you and you don't have EOD on, or you get a rocket thrown at you and you die, of course, that's something to get frustrated with. But if you're in a gunfight and someone clearly outguns you because they're the better player, or their aim was more on point, or if your aim was out of whack because you're using a new sensitivity, don't be hard on yourself. Look at that as a way of, okay, I need to adjust what I'm doing. I need to focus on that. Just focus on improving yourself. But that's all the tips that I have for you guys. It's a long video, like I said. You can skip to certain points if you want to go back. But I just want people to be able to enjoy the game, feel better, feel confident, and improve their gameplay and their gun skill, and just overall not get mad at themselves or beat themselves up just because they had a poor game. It's gonna happen whether you like it or not. But thank you guys for watching today's video. If you stuck around and watched the whole entire thing, make sure that you hit that like button if you did enjoy it. But if you did watch the whole thing, comment down below, "I did it," with an exclamation point. But otherwise, guys, I appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Remember to leave a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, like I said, but also be sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications. I did this video a little bit different, and it's my first time doing something like this, so I just wanted you guys to understand the tips and tricks that I do, what made me a better player. But I hope you guys did enjoy today's video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.